People, what you have stumbled across is the continued discourse of a talk with a racist. And as always, this is the third video on my end, which two previous to this have been answered, plus the original one. If you are interested in hearing the other side of the discourse, as I stated in the other videos, PM me, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit before I introduce you to this other person, just for the sole reason to ensure that you're going to be respectful of another individual's liberty and freedom. That being said, let me get right to it in response to the person here, and I will read the bell curve book. I will. You have my word on that, and I will do I'll go ahead and do a book review on it. However, I do have a few things going on at the moment, if you'll allow me that, and I think you will, because you're a good guy. Let me begin by saying that you pointed out my natural prejudices towards let's say it was a black person, and I feel like a natural tendency towards that same person. Let me clarify that. I'm not going to say that I'm necessarily not guilty of the racial guilt that you were talking about, and that it isn't something that I don't actually need to deal with. But I will say that say you have a black man in a suit, button up, looks like he's put together, well spoken, and everything else, versus a white man in a hoodie with a crappy looking beard and a skull tattooed on his neck. No offense. Please don't take that the wrong way, because I don't mean it. It's the same towards that white person that I would feel, if that makes sense. When I look to my own kind, I'm looking to my own kind of intellect and open-mindedness. So that being said, just to clarify, and I'm not saying that to skirt the issue. I just wanted to let you really know my natural prejudices. I live in an interracial neighborhood, and I feel that out of all the people on my street, I personally have more in common with the black person on my street than I would, say, the white person that's like catty corner to me. We're in the same. He's actually a corrections officer, and so I don't know. Take that as you will. What I would like to point out, though, you were again asking about the scientific thing, and if I could ask you to explore these exceptions to the rule. You were putting a great deal of value to the rule, but now if you could do me the favor and allow me to talk about George Washington Carver and his work with biology and chemistry and everything else. My hope against hope is that you wouldn't say, "Oh, George Washington Carver, he didn't actually do the work, and it was actually this white guy from fucking London or whatever." Allow me to have George Washington Carver, because I could point out that in spite of all of these natural genetic predispositions, this man did amazing things. And despite all sorts of genetic predisposition, these exceptions to the rule, do terrible things, do great things. The number one rapper in the United States right now, for example, is Eminem. I mean, the guy's more street than half the black people out there. Now, because we're talking about a few different things now. So how do you determine okay, this particular gland in this person means that he's going to have this sort of behavior, or the size of this person's frontal lobe makes them more likely to rape and commit violence. What I want to do, if I may, I would like to say that environment has a much greater effect than what you're allowing it. I'm not going to say that it's only genetics is only necessarily 2%, but allow me to use the point of environment. And what I will use, I'm going to use my own experience in that while I did drop out, I was a recruit of the United States Marine Corps. And I also have several of my friends and everything else are in the service. So I can tell you from my own personal experiences the change in a person's behavior that environment can have. Being in a recruit environment, I was with people from the entry of the depot to fairly far along, and you can see the change in the people where they're actually their individuality based on their environment gets stomped out. And that was all of us, white, black, yellow, red. It was regardless of the color. You saw that get stomped out to the point where a set behavior was in fact established by the environment. I would like to offer the possibility that a similar circumstance can happen in any environment, whether a person is Irish and grows up in a land that is subjugated by the English, or you name the place. There are locations in the world that would have their natural evolutions and whatnot. But now what I would like to do, I would like to just once again clarify, I don't foresee the solution as being, forced busing. Get them out of there, get them to the white schools and whatever. I don't see that as a viable solution. I see that as very wrong. And being a son of the South, quite a bit of the roots of our discontent has to do with the forced implementation during the Reconstruction. And it's something a lot of people don't realize. It's something we're still dealing with today, the consequences of it. Again, I would just like to point out those exceptions to the rule bring a doubt into the hypothesis, and in effect the validity. I believe it brings into question the validity of the data. Just like a white person could maybe one day beat a black person in the 100-yard dash intellectually. We would kind of be speaking of two different things. But myself, just like you, I am a man of faith. I don't know if you and I could sit down and agree on a set interpretation. But you know what? I'm not even going to go there because we're already talking like about 4 different things now, bro. So that's what I got for right now, and I really appreciate the discourse, and I cannot tell you how much of a relief it is, and how much edification I am getting from being able to have an open discussion about this topic, where I'm able to refer to you as a racist, and me calling you a racist isn't the usual, like, I'm going to shut the discourse down. Oh, you're a racist, or what? No, it's a cool thing, man, and I appreciate the honesty in all of it. I've been getting some PMs about why are you doing this? Why would you even talk to a racist? I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the freedom to delve into a topic that is socially taboo. Because it's something that, if it's a strong enough thing and you bury it under the surface, just like anything else, you bury something nasty under the surface and it is going to fester. And when it rears its ugly head, it's going to be bad. And that's not healthy for anybody. It really isn't. And also, the person that I'm having this discourse with, I really believe that in the end, what they want out of life is probably the same thing that I want out of life. And that's just to get through it, man. To get through it with as much personal fulfillment as possible. Now, that may sound selfish, but I ask for you to think about that. Think about what that really means and what personal fulfillment may entail. It doesn't necessarily entail that I'm building a gigantic tower filled with gold and you all can suffer. What brings me personal fulfillment might surprise you. It may bring me personal fulfillment to see the poor taken care of. It may bring me personal fulfillment to fulfill Jesus' commandment to see to the widows and orphans. But if you force me by the government so bad that I'm oppressed and I can't feel enough esteem to where I can accomplish the things that bring me fulfillment, you'll never know. You'll never know what I'm personally capable of. Same too it is with the people that may have a racial awareness or be racial activists. You don't know. We'll see y'all later.